what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ed Honcho, and this is another episode of the Honcho Show. So I hope the day has been treating you guys good. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a holiday, and I should definitely do a video. I'm gonna definitely do a little something about that later. But I just was thinking about something as I was partaking today, and hey, give me a follow, Instagram, Twitter, Real Ed Honcho. Subscribe, like the video, check the description below for more. But now, as I was saying, I was just thinking about something real odd. And as you can see the background behind me, you may have an idea of what it is that I was thinking about. And what that is what's up with powerful guys named Bill and sexual misconduct? Is this a thing? Am I just smoking that good shit and tripping? Let's talk about it. So recently, or most recently, this guy right here, don't point at me, fucking Bill O'Reilly, hit him with that jabber cut, you know what I'm saying? Most recently, Bill O'Reilly just got fired from Fox News last night, I believe. And this guy, like I say, this guy was a powerful man. I think he had the #1 cable news show for a significant amount of years. But I think, that's purely because with conservative viewers, you're really concentrated on one channel, so everybody's gravitating to one thing, and that is, his show. If he's the man on that network, and that network is the only network, then that's where people gravitate towards. And of course, that's how it is going to equate into that. But with that being said, it's still a feat nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? No matter how it happens, because I like to try to figure out how things happen, not just, hey, look, that's great. Going back behind it, like I say, it was crazy because he was still receiving a ton of support, even though all these allegations were coming out. Now, that's the thing that you always hear a lot about the conservative party is that, it's real misogynistic. And I don't think misogyny is a bad thing in a sense, just to the degree in which, it occurs. I am all about, I believe everybody should be treated equal, but the same thing, equality is earned. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, oh, let's just give you everything. I mean, but everybody, man, go get that shit. Like, get on your hustle, get on your grind, man. Like, this is America where you can do anything. You know what I'm saying? And now it's becoming like a world where you can do anything. You can make money from home. You don't have to go look for a job, but all this other stuff. But that's, like I said, that's another video. But let's talk about Bill and like I say, he still received a ton of support. He still was kind of in position, but then I guess, it comes to a point where they figured it would just be too much drama. Advertisers would pull it out. And, money talk, bullshit walks, or money talks and O'Reilly walks. But the thing about that is this. Bill, look here, I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm not affiliated with a political party. I'm just a man with my own opinions. I look at everything and I think it's stupidity on both sides. I think there's some good ideas on both sides. I mean, some good concepts on both sides. But I think anybody who just completely aligns themselves, with a party, you're set out to lose. You know what I mean? You got to look at things individually because sometimes a lot of people pick shit or align themselves with shit that doesn't benefit them. But, that's another topic too. But like I say, so Bill was still in position to relative like last night, so he's been let go. But I don't think that's going to hurt Bill too much. I think he's going to be all right because he has a shit ton of support. He's an author. I'm sure his shit's probably getting bought out the fucking stores as we speak. So I don't think he has too much to worry about. Now, let's talk about sexual misconduct for a second, though. I'm not sure of all the allegations in which you were accused, but apparently it was some shit happening in the workplace. And, that had been settled many times out of court and things like this. But apparently Fox had paid for some of these settlements. And then for them to turn around last night and be like, we want to promote a culture of, blah, blah, blah. That's pure bullshit. Everybody sees through that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, shit like that, that's bullshit, You're a part of the problem. So, you know what I mean? But, like I said, it is what it is. So that's his situation. Because we're talking about bills. So we're not just going to talk all about O'Reilly, but we're going to talk about all the bills. This gentleman right here, Bill the comedian Cosby. Bill Cosby has been accused of a shit ton of shit. Now, I said I was going to talk about sexual misconduct. I kind of delayed it a second. But this is going to be the guy to talk about it about. Bill was just accused of everything, drugging women up and doing this and, y'all, I mean, just really going to town. I don't believe the majority of the allegations of against Bill Cosby. I might not believe the majority of allegations probably against Bill O'Reilly once I get into it, once I actually read it. Depending on how many there are now, they could be significant, so I may be wrong. But I think a lot of the situation with Bill Cosby was an advantageous thing, which with the other women it was too. You know, these motherfuckers made millions of dollars off Bill O'Reilly and Fox News. But I think with Bill, because the way it just came out, for it to have been so many incidents, and it only now, just this floodgate opens up. I just think anybody who might have had a little one-on-one party time with Bill, you know, might have came out and just tried to use that as some leverage to gain some ground, get some attention. Because you got to realize the reason they was fucking with him in the first place was seeking attention, trying to become actresses, trying to become, you know, have some pull in the entertainment world. So another opportunity to get some shine? Why the fuck not? You know, I honestly do believe that a lot of that shit is bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because you're frank and honest, and I had a situation in high school. I'm not gonna go too in depth into it because, you know, I don't want anybody feeling any particular way about anybody involved in it. You know, I can only tell my side. In high school, at a party, the chick that hosted the party, I guess she was having a good time, you know. A situation occurred. I saw what was happening. I bounced, okay? Left. That's like, nah, I don't want no parts in none of this. I'm cool. So that's all I thought it was. Honestly, I mean, that's what it was. You know, I can't say I was, you know, I was having a good time too, and you know, I was doing my thing. But you know, we were young. You know, kids do what kids do. You know, I leave. I go off to college. I happen to come home just to see what's good. You know, holler at everybody, and man, you know, such and such. Whoop whoop whoop. I heard, you know, they say that you raped such and such. And I was like, wow, who said that, you know? And, you know, she said it. My thing is this, you know, that's such a dangerous thing to do. You know, the Brian Banks situation that occurred, that man lost 5 years of his life. He could have been a talented kid and could have probably played some ball somewhere and had a career. Who knows? Nobody knows, because that opportunity was taken away from him because somebody just felt like it. Women, and you know, generalizations, whatever you want to call it, tend, from my experiences, so that to clarify that, tend to be more emotional creatures, to react more emotionally by their emotions first. And because so if they felt like, oh, such and such, oh, you disrespected me, or you did this or whatever, and they feel like the best way to get you is they're just mad, so they're going to say something that they feel would just, you know, put a stain on your character, or maybe get them a little. You playing with freedom with people's lives, you know, and that's not a good thing to do, because nothing happens to you. That chick who did Brian Banks, well, she got like $2 million, lied about it, admitted she lied about it, fucking told her she got to pay the money, but she ain't got none of the fucking money. And so what's gonna happen? Nothing. So that dude still took an apology. I mean, anyway, so like I said, with that situation happening with me, you know, and then me not even being around to know that it was occurring, so when rumors spread, they can go unchecked. It can get very bad. It put me in a position like, you know, Okay, how do you defend yourself in a situation like that? You can't. I mean, you can't if you weren't there to defend yourself. So I mean, so now I have people thinking that I'm this type of person when there's no way on earth. Absolutely not. No way in hell. Not me. Not never. It don't get that good. Like I'd pay for it before I fucking ever did that. I ain't finna do that. So anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand. But like I say, that's why I feel the way I feel when I say I'm really skeptical first because of the situation that happened to me and how it occurred. And like I said, they put a stain on me. I know people who were like, man, yeah, I heard such and such, but I know you, so I know it wasn't true. Yeah, that's cool. But did you say that to whoever told you that, or who you overheard it from? Did you say, well, I know him personally, and he's not that kind of dude? You know what I'm saying? But a situation occurred where I was able to prove in front of a large group of people, that they knew better. That, like I said, I was able to prove that it didn't happen to me. But like I say, without trying to release too many details and say too many things and keep it as anonymous as possible, minus me. Um, but like I said, it's Bill Clinton. I think that was a real opportunistic thing. They were trying to get some of that Jello pudding money. Anyway, then let's talk about El Presidente. Bill had numerous accusations that happened to him before he even ran for president. And then, the Lewinsky thing. Now, Bill's wasn't so bad. Like I said, I guess, one was an accusation of him having some inappropriate contact. The Lewinsky thing, that happened. We know that happened. I mean, it's really funny. But I'm gonna just like sum all this up really to get to the point that, as we're just talking about these, just kind of reminiscing over all these situations. It's not if you're named Bill. It's not, doesn't matter if you're named whatever. It's a situation when you're a powerful person, like, and I'm saying like not just a man, because I believe that there's women out there that when you're in a powerful situation, you use that. You use your power. Sex is a stress reliever. So maybe these people, when you with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility. So these people, a lot of power can be a stressful situation. So they need to get a release. So they feel, they enact that upon people who are close to them. Lewinsky, what was she, a fucking intern or something? I don't know what she was. I forgot. She's just close by. Bill O'Reilly, his situation is, with co-workers or people who are trying to work or, get jobs at Fox. Bill, numerous women who were trying to be actors, people who were trying to get close to him, build relationships to, whatever. And so that's what happens. And you don't know if it's always worked for them, so that's what they do. And then, it comes across a few people as they don't like it, so then it becomes an issue. Or is it that, they know what they're doing, they just don't give a shit? I mean, you don't know unless you're in their shoes, really. And then again, when you're in a position of power, people tend to be more submissive, to your requests, to, so you get used to that, I guess, and that's just kind of how you act upon it because you expect it after a while, and once it becomes the norm. I guess that is just what it is. I mean, if you're a powerful person, it's just kind of how it happens. I've seen it happen on, much smaller levels. You probably have it happen with coworkers and bosses, upper management, and shit like that. It's happening all the time. It's happening right now. Somebody is doing something they shouldn't be doing right now. So all I'm saying is, excuse me, and I know that I got the invisible thing going. I'm camouflaging, so figure it out. All I'm saying is, man, it's unfortunate. And who am I to judge, what they did or didn't do? Because I don't know the full details. I don't know the context of each and every situation that took place. But, as human beings, as people, we're going to naturally want to judge. We're going to naturally want to, put our opinions out there. And that's my opinion. I try my best to be unbiased as I can when it comes to, regular everyday stuff. But it's hard, you know what I mean? Because when you say, 10 people said you did this. Okay. So that's the 10 that came out. How many times have you really done it? Did these 10 people really did you really do these things? Are they colluding together? I mean, it could be a multitude of things that's going on. So, I mean, I just think that we got to handle each and every situation, one individually. And Dave Chappelle made a joke about Bill Cosby, which is funny because he's a comedian. But the joke, I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen the stand-up, but it brings out a good point. And that point is, if a person does more for, let's say, society than they take away or, violate, if you will, or I don't know have the word at hand to think of how to explain it, but so if they do more than they give more than they receive. I mean, in a major way, they change lives, and say this person has helped 1,000,000 lives, but they violated one in a manner that some don't view as that bad, or in a manner that some people think is atrocious. So all I'm saying is this, is value is kind of what you place upon it. So you got to determine, are those 1,000,000 people who say, let's for instance, if I took 1,000,000 people out of poverty and put them in nice homes and changed their lives, put their kids through college, and they became from impoverished citizens, they became middle-class citizens and able to sustain their lives. But then one late night after too many drinks at the bar, I do something to someone and they feel accosted by me, or they feel like I violated them. Am I the one incident, or am I the humanitarian? Am I the life changer? Am I that guy? What am I? What do you become? So that's why I say, like, these guys, they present a strange situation, because all these men have done great things for people. Okay, humanitarian efforts, and charities, and one was the president. One has made millions and millions of people laugh. The other one has informed millions and millions of people. All of these men have affected the lives of millions and millions of Americans and people worldwide. So they've affected the world each in their own right. But now, compared to those millions and millions and millions, you maybe have 10 here, you have 20 here, you got 30 here. I'm not saying these, I'm just saying of people that you violated or done bad. So what are you? What are you? What do you become? I mean, do we judge others differently on this scale, or is it just not right no matter what? What if you're like a asshole scumbag, never did shit for anybody, just lived your whole life that way, but never said that you just, fucked anybody over? I mean, can you see yourself as better than someone who's done that? Even though they've given, and they've given their soul and everything they had, but one time they did some real foul shit. Do you judge yourself as better than that person? What if a person who has been a criminal, as rapist, everything, let's just name, all the sick stuff you can think of, and this person had done all these crimes, but one day they save a life. Is that one life? Does that make them a hero? Does it make them more valuable than all the shit that they've done to people to make their lives miserable? I don't know. I'd like to know your opinion. Hey, remember, Real Ed Honcho, Twitter, Instagram, and we talk about shit like this all the time. Leave comments below. I'm going to end it right here because I really want you to think on those thoughts. I want you to think about subscribing. I want you to hit that notification. But I want you to think about these three men, and put yourself in their shoes. Really think about it, because a lot of people just take things passing by and they don't really examine what the truth is. And you have to understand that these people's lives are not like my life, your life, the people you know for the most part, they operate on a different level. And I know people want to say everybody's created equal, but hey, let's be realistic. Some people are better. Some people are in a better position. Some people will do greater things. So no, not everybody's not created equal. Everybody has an equal chance. If you were created, you're given an equal chance. That's it. But once birth hits, that's when those levels start. Hey, when you start learning, you get, hey, me and this guy the same age, and I know 10 times as much as him, we're not equal. If I can do 100 different things that he can't do, and he can only do 2 or 3, we're not equal. If you earn the right to be greater, to be better, then hey, that's you. But these people, these men, like I say, were great men at one point in time in everyone's eyes. And now all of a sudden, the tide has shifted. Think about that. I'm Ed Honcho. You know, and I started off and it was humorous, but I really want you guys to think. This is Ed Honcho, so it's the Honcho Show. But like I say, Instagram, Twitter, check out my other channels, you know. Subscribe, comment. I really want to hear your guys' comments on this because I would love to have this discussion because I was having this discussion with a friend. I'd love to have it to see what, you know, the rest of you guys think. Deuce up. I'm out.